observed. Good afternoon and welcome to Djibouti. I am privileged to welcome you to this 37th Extraordinary Assembly of the IGAD Heads of State and Government. I want to start by thanking Your Excellencies for setting aside the time in your demanding schedule and traveling to Djibouti, home of the headquarters, in order to hold this very important meeting. The IGAD Secretariat is honored by your presence, and it is our hope that the headquarters will have the opportunity to host more and more summits. Excellencies, 2020 has been an exceptional year. This is the third time this year that Your Excellencies are convening in an extraordinary summit meeting. The first you met was in March this year, when the coronavirus pandemic arrived in our region and began recording the first case. Our region benefited greatly from your far-sighted decision to adopt a multilateral and coordinated regional response to undertake COVID-19. In the course of this year, our region also experienced the worst desert locust invasion in 25 years. We were also affected by widespread flooding across many of the member states as our region continues to beat the burns of climate change. The resolute leadership from Your Excellencies, our leaders, has made the IGAD stand out in the community of nations. The bold steps that you took won the confidence of the international community and our people to mobilize extraordinary level of support from the European Union and other international partners, many of whom are here with us today. To all our partners, I want to thank you for your response in front of our readers. In July this year, Your Excellencies, you met for the second time. This was another demonstration of your leadership as you assembled to renew the progress of peace process in the Republic of South Sudan. We now met for a third time, Your Excellencies, once again in extraordinary circumstances. The summit meeting is an opportunity to be briefed on the status of our regional states, as well as address the pressing issues which you discuss and resolve. The region seeks your wisdom and looks to your leadership to systematically deliberate upon these issues and chart the way forward for the region. And this has given a reason to pause and reflect upon the reasons why, in their wisdom, the founding fathers established IGAD. Your Excellencies, Chair, extraordinary times often call for extraordinary response and solutions. As I have repeatedly appealed my mind to the challenges that our region faces, my attention has been repeatedly drawn to the first three paragraphs of agreement established IGAD. Using only 110 words, the founding fathers of IGAD articulated a timeless doctrine, enduring philosophy and solid principle, and cemented regional relations built on the strong ties of brotherhood and sisterhood and fruitful cooperation between our countries and communities. Our founding fathers realized that as a region, we face the same challenges, and if we are to strive, we need to strengthen the natural interdependence that exists between our member states. What is continued this three short opening paragraph is just as relevant today as it was 35 years ago. We are also very jubilant that when Your Excellencies have successfully taken the mantle of leadership in our respective member states, you have remained faithful to the vision of IGAD, upheld the principles to the wholly and consistently promoted our ultimate objectives of regional integration. Excellencies, only a week ago, Kenya and Ethiopia jointly launched the one-stop border post in Moyale and reviewed progress of the Lamu port, which will be a great way for our region and Africa. These projects are the latest developments that complement other mega infrastructure initiatives that you are driving within the framework of the IGAD Regional Integration Master Plan, including the Northern Corridor project from Uganda to Jabuuti. In recent times, our greatest achievements are in the realm of peace and security. The formulation of the revitalized transitional government of national unity in South Sudan was the outcome of the IGAD-led process. This is a remarkable achievement for our region and irrefutable proof that African solutions in African problems do exist and they do work. 6 months ago, the peace agenda in IGAD moved another step forward when the presidents of Somalia and Somaliland held talks in Djibouti under the patronage of our gracious host, President Ismail Gille and Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. IGAD is confident that the technical committees that were established are still, of course, to steer the parties toward in amicable solutions. In addition, the Juba Peace Agreement of the 3rd of October 2020 between the government of Sudan and the opposition alliance for the Sudanese Revolutionary Front is another example of our region's capacity to resolve issues internally. I would like us all to take this time to appreciate and applaud the exemplary role of the government of South Sudan played in the hosting and successfully mandating the peace talks. There are international signals recognizing the progress we are making. The delisting of the Republic of Sudan from the US list of state sponsors of terrorism is a very important development, not only for the people and government of Sudan, but for the entire region as well. I want to congratulate His Excellency Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok and the people of Sudan for this momentous achievement. Your Excellencies, this is a counterpart to these achievements. Our region is still confronting challenges, both natural and man-made, and we continue to have new challenges emerging every day. As we hold this 37th Extraordinary Summit meeting this year, it is an opportunity to learn from the lessons that this unusual year has taught us. It is also an opportunity to deliberate upon the way forward with regards to prevailing issues shaping the current state of our region. At the level of Secretariat, we are recognizing ourselves to better implement the decision of the summit and our other policy organs as guided by the framework of 3R consisting of response, reform, and revitalization of IGAD. As a remedy, I call for Your Excellencies to unanimously endorse the challenge that we have faced this year of these natural disasters. The decision of the Ministerial Committee in 2030 to establish the IGAD Disaster Response Fund and furthermore establish the IGAD Disaster Operation Center. We also call upon the support of our partners in the international community for the center once it is established. Your Excellencies, Corona pandemic has taught us that it is cheaper to invest in pandemic prevention today than it is invested in pandemic recovery tomorrow. I therefore call upon Your Excellencies to facilitate the full operationalization of the IGAD Emergency Fund for the control and prevention of pandemic disease, to us to be better prepared for the outbreak of pandemics in the future. As evidence of our proactive response to disease, I am pleased to report that IGAD is at the advanced stage of establishing a regional cancer center of excellence. It spearheaded the prevention, research, and treatment of our cancer in the region. Your Excellencies, as I come to close of my remarks, I am confident that the closed session that will be held immediately hereafter will be a forum in which we shall continue the traditional of originating amicable and effective solutions to the challenges affecting our region. Finally, Excellencies, I conclude with the same appeal I have made at all our meetings. The strength of IGAD emanates from the support of its member states. In order to continue effectively serving the interest of our people in the region, the Secretariat respectfully calls for the full political and material support of all our member states. I wish you a fruitful deliberation. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Executive Secretary of IGAD. I would like now to invite His Excellency Ismail Omar Ghali, President of the Republic of Djibouti, to deliver his welcoming remarks. President.
Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulil Amin. Your Excellency, Mr. President in Office of IGAD, Excellencies, Heads of States and Governments, Honorable Ministers and Heads of Delegations, Mr. Chairman of the AU Commission, distinguished representatives of brotherly countries and international organizations, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. On behalf of the people and the Republic of Djibouti, I am delighted to welcome you all to the 38th Extraordinary Summit of IGAD Heads of States and Governments. First of all, I would like to extend a warm welcome to my brothers, the heads of states and governments, who wished to honor with their presence this important event, despite what I know is a very busy schedule. Your presence at this summit is loaded with significances. It bears witness to your commitment and tireless efforts for the development and stability of our region. I would like to also take this opportunity to congratulate the incumbent President of IGAD and Prime Minister of the Republic of Sudan, His Excellency Abdullah Hamdok, for holding this meeting and the summit level, and to salute once again his commitment and his tireless efforts. We are also very happy to welcome among us the President of the Commission of the African Union, His Excellency Musa Faki, as well as all the partners whose constant interest is to see the development and prosperity of our region. Finally, I cannot end my introductory remarks without congratulating the IGAD Secretariat under the leadership of our brother Executive Secretary, Dr. Warkana Gabayo, and all those who have worked tirelessly to make this summit a success. I hope, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, that you will find the arrangements made available to your conducive to fruitful deliberations and to your personal comfort. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today, through this summit, we want to reiterate our shared commitment and vision, namely the unity and cohesion that have characterized IGAD since its creation, to give it to our political orientations and impulses, to establish an in-depth evaluation of our strengths and weaknesses, and consider the challenges and opportunities facing this region. With these brief words, I welcome you once again to the Republic of Djibouti, confident that our deliberations will lead us further towards the goal of a better life for all inhabitants of the IGAD region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I would like now to call upon His Excellency Dr. Musa Faki Mohammed, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, to deliver his statement. The floor is yours, Chair.
Your Excellency, President Ismail Omar Gele, President of the Republic of Djibouti, Your Excellency Dr. Abdullah Hamdok, Prime Minister of the Republic of Sudan and the current Chairman of IGAD, Your Excellencies, Head of State and Government, Honorable Ministers, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Excellency Executive Secretary of IGAD, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the Horn of Africa finds itself in a very particular situation, and the IGAD, its regional organization, is experiencing more than one tough challenge. I therefore appreciate your decision to hold this important extraordinary summit and for inviting me to be with you today. This is a good time and the good place to gather the IGAD family to deal with regional challenges. Not only because Djibouti is the headquarters of IGAD, it is also a peaceful country led by a leader, His Excellency President Omar Gele, who embodies wisdom and is a good neighbor to all. Excellencies, allow me to give a broad outline of some priority areas from the regional landscape. In South Sudan, peace and reconciliation continue to call for greater efforts from national stakeholders and the region to defend the gains made so far, so as to ensure much-needed peace, security, and stability in the country. I am particularly happy to see that Mrs. Rebecca Garang, who, as Vice President, represents South Sudan in this summit. Sudan, where democratic transition is underway, continues to face immense political and economic challenges. Here, too, fraternal solidarity is needed, no more than ever before. Here, I wish to commend the Juba Agreement with armed movements, which was an important step in the road to restore peace, security, and the national reconciliation in all of Sudan. The recent decision to remove Sudan from the U.S. list of states sponsors of terrorism is also an overdue but vital key to revive Sudan's economic relations with the outside world. I therefore call upon the national, civilian, and military stakeholders to work together and honor the legitimate aspirations of Sudanese people who celebrated the second anniversary of the revolution yesterday. In Somalia, despite progress in the fight against terrorism and in strengthening the federal institutions, profound fragilities continue to pose challenges to this country. The African Union welcomes the resumption of dialogue between the federal state and the federated states and remains committed to support ongoing efforts. In the area of security, AMISOM has been in existence for more than a decade. It is now time for Somalis to take their destiny and country into their own hands. Soon, the country will also be gearing up for elections, and it needs a conducive environment to organize a credible electoral process. Somalis has high and legitimate expectations to live in peace and stability. In Ethiopia, the federal government took bold steps to preserve the unity, stability, and respect for the constitutional order of the country, which is legitimate for all states. It cannot be denied, however, that the crisis in Tigray has provoked large-scale displacement. We encourage IGAD to support Ethiopia in addressing the humanitarian dimensions. Particular attention should be paid to refugees and displaced people. It is necessary to recall the important role that Ethiopia plays in peacekeeping operations in the region, and I hope that these efforts will continue. The recent tension between Somalia and Kenya, two neighboring countries, which led to the breakdown of diplomatic relations, remain a serious concern for the African Union. I would therefore like to call on the two parties to open dialogue with a view to the resumption of these relations and ask IGAD to strongly encourage them in this regard. Kenya, it should be noted, is a troop-contributing country to AMISOM and hosts a large community of Somali refugees. I am convinced that the long-standing and the strong links between the two countries and peoples can overcome the current challenges. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, recently, the African Union held two extraordinary summits, one on silencing the guns and one on the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, where important decisions were adopted. These decisions confirm the important role of regional economic communities, and here I want to point out the strategic role that IGAD is expected to play for the Africa we want: integrated, prosperous, and peaceful. I therefore reiterate the commitment of the African Union to contribute to efforts in the region. Africa can no longer and should not suffer from the tensions and divisions. Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, l'Afrique est à l'écoute de votre sommet. L'Afrique nourrit l'immense espoir que l'Est du continent parvienne enfin à susciter l'élan salvateur de solidarité, de paix et de prospérité aux peuples de cette partie de l'Afrique qui en ont tellement besoin. Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, l'Afrique a une corne. C'est vous la corne de l'Afrique. Comme vous le savez, la corne est une arme, est un moyen de défense, de protection et de dissuasion. Vous comprenez aisément notre souci de soigner cette corne parce qu'il y va de l'intérêt de l'ensemble du continent. La Commission de l'Union africaine est et demeure, comme toujours, soucieuse de soutenir et de contribuer à promouvoir toutes les décisions que vous prendrez dans ce sens. À travers Africa CDC, nous travaillons avec l'IGAD et les États membres de l'IGAD pour faire face à cette terrible pandémie du Covid-19. Je voudrais remercier Son Excellence le Premier ministre Abiy Ahmed, qui, dès la propagation de cette pandémie, s'est mis avec nous et a suscité un grand élan de solidarité parce que le premier soutien arrivé du continent a été fait grâce à son plaidoyer. Vous pouvez compter sur nous aujourd'hui et demain, comme nous avons été à vos côtés, tous et chacun hier et aujourd'hui. Pour finir, je voudrais remercier le président Ismaël Omar Guelleh pour avoir accepté d'accueillir en présentiel cette session, en dépit de la prévalence de la pandémie du Covid-19 dans la région, et lui exprimer notre gratitude pour la chaleur de l'hospitalité. Je souhaite plein succès à votre sommet et vous remercie de votre haute attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Moussa Faki, Chairperson of the African Union. I would like now to beg your indulgence and permission to allow me to deliver the statement of the Chairperson of IGAD. Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic of Djibouti and the host of our IGAD Secretariat, Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya, Excellency Muhammad Abdullahi Mohammed, President of the Republic of Somalia, Excellency Madame Rebecca Nyandeng Dimabur, Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, Excellency Ambassador Rebecca Otengo, representing the Republic of Uganda, Excellency Dr. Moussa Faki Mohammed, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Dr. Werkani Gabeyehu, Executive Secretary of IGAD, IGAD Foreign Ministers and Ambassadors, distinguished IGAD partners, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to welcome you all to the 38th Extraordinary IGAD Head of State and Government meeting. I would like to thank His Excellency, President Ismail Omar Guelleh, the government of the Republic of Djibouti, and the people for their warm welcome, hospitality, and generosity in hosting us. I am particularly pleased that we are able to convene at a very short notice, even as we prepare to go into the holiday season and prepare to make the transition to the new year. Convening in Djibouti, home to the IGAD headquarters, for the first time in 20 years, is a representative of our political will that we have mobilized to reform and revitalize our regional organization. At our last extraordinary summit, I called upon this Assembly of Heads of State and Government to consider holding regular meetings to assess the progress towards our shared vision of the IGAD region and offer counsel on those issues whose resolution require the highest level of intervention. Today, I want to add that it is my wish that in keeping with this status as the headquarters of our organization, Djibouti should have the honor of hosting more of these meetings of the Assembly of IGAD of Heads of State and Government. As such, I would like us to think of the Assembly today as an end-of-year meeting for the IGAD family, in which we have the opportunity to address the urgent matters of our time, and particularly the current developments in our region. Excellencies, the COVID-19 pandemic and its effects on the lives and the livelihoods of our people remains a shared and pressing concern. We cannot also discount the danger posed by the desert locust, and even though it has receded for now, remains a looming threat of our region. Additionally, long-term data and projections from our Climate Monitoring Center shows that the paradox of extreme drought followed by widespread flooding is slowly becoming the norm in our region. These threats have a significant impact for the future humanitarian security development status of our home in IGAD. Excellencies, this family meeting therefore comes at a crucial time when our home is besieged by a wide spectrum of challenges and threats, both internally and externally. As leaders, therefore, we have a solemn duty to address these challenges, and our people are looking to us to show the way and come up with solutions to the various issues affecting our region. Should we not succeed in this endeavor, we run the risk of losing the gains we have delivered for our people and reversing momentum in growth that we have managed to build up for our region so far, with grave consequences on the humanitarian stability and development status of our region. This meeting here today gives us an opportunity to take stock of the tremendous achievement we have made in combating the coronavirus pandemic, forcing back the threat of desert locust, progressing towards a lasting peace in South Sudan, and reinforcing the governance transition in the Republic of Sudan. However, it is also my duty as the chair to emphasize that our conversations at the closed session today remain bound by the principles of IGAD, which include the sovereign equality of all member states, non-interference in the internal affairs of member states, but also the peaceful settlement of conflict through dialogue and the maintenance of regional peace, stability, and security. Excellencies, our gathering here today is also a chance for us to deliberate on emerging issues of the day. It is my hope that, and I'm sure this will happen, that the discussion we shall hold shall give us an opportunity. Let me mention some of them. That we will have a brief from His Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed on the situation and aftermath of recent development in Ethiopia. It is also a chance for us to continue the conversation on managing the political challenges in our region, hear updates and progress on the ongoing peace processes in South Sudan and the transitions processes in Sudan and hopefully in Somalia. I am encouraged by the readiness with which you have responded to the gravity of these concerns and the spirit of brotherhood you have displayed in coming here collectively responding to these challenges. I also wish to recognize and express the sincere gratitude of the entire IGAD summit to our mother organization, the African Union, as well as our multilateral and bilateral partners who have made meaningful commitments and tangible contributions towards solutions to the collective challenges we face and supporting our vision of peace, prosperity, and regional integration. In conclusion, Excellencies, I call upon the region and our partners and the international community to redouble their effort and support to our effort at IGAD towards peace building. Let us seize this opportunity to strengthen diplomatic and political engagement as well as build on the goodwill between our communities in the region in order to deliver lasting solutions to our people. I underscore the need for us here at the IGAD Summit and the international community to strengthen multilateral and bilateral cooperation. My call is to our international partners to remain steadfast in your friendship and continue to actively engage IGAD by providing the much-needed political, technical, and material support. With these brief remarks, I declare the 38th Extraordinary Summit meeting of the IGAD Head of State and Government officially open. I wish you all the fruitful deliberations and thank you for your kind attention. I think this brings us to the opening session, close of this, and I would like to request our guests and invited guests and partners that we will go into the closed session, I think, next.
1+1.
Yeah, I think I'm told it is 1+1. So maybe without further ado, we go straight into the closed session. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.